Hello world, it's good to see you today and welcome to my kitchen. Hopefully what I see is what you see, yeah? Because I know last time we were like, what are we gonna do? And my whole video was like off. But we ended up getting it fixed and we've got it posted so it's all horizontal now, both on Facebook and on YouTube. Hey, would you guys do me a favor as we get going here? We really need you to hit those like and subscribe buttons and help us out here on my kitchen. Also, my first cookbook is out at www.matthewyarnell.com. So you can head on over there really quick, sign up for that. It's free. And we're making all sorts of amazing things here in my little kitchen. Just made this morning, and a snickerdoodle almond milk with some snickerdoodle almond butter that I made previously. So I'm gonna have to do a video on that as well and show you guys what that's all about, but it's really, really tasty, especially if you like snickerdoodles. So I'm going to keep that right there kind of handy so I have something to drink in case I need to get back and drink something. My throat goes, and anyway, kind of know what I'm talking about there, I hope. Today, we're making some oatmeal banana bars, or squares if you will. They have been very popular at my place recently. My boys like to take them out to work, and my youngest is in braces. Well, my youngest son is in braces, and he can't have hard granola bars, so these are nice and soft, and so a very nice substitute for him. So that is what we're making. This is our objective today. So if you are baking along with me here in the kitchen, set your oven ding, 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 to 350 degrees. Personally, I don't have an oven here in this studio. I have to take it over to the main house to cook it. So we're going to get everything together up to that point, and then you're going to pop it into your own oven for 35 to 40 minutes, and they'll come out nice and golden brown, just like this, yeah. So, without further ado, we're going to get started here by breaking open a couple of eggs. And what I'm actually going for here is the egg white. So I'm going to just let the egg white drip out of my hand there and kind of pull some of it off. And there we go. There we go. Now I'm going to put the egg yolk over there. I have one more to do. So just a couple of eggs, about medium eggs. Try not to break that yolk. Last time I made this, I did break the yolk, so my little egg whites ended up not being all white. There was some yellow in them, but that's okay. That happens sometimes. There we go. That's what you're left with afterwards. You take that, fry it up if you so desire, or use it in another recipe. Now I'm going to just stick that into my little Cuisinart here, little food processor, and one nice thing about doing this in a small container like this, you can see if you got just a little bit of egg shell in there. And so I do have a little bit of egg shell in here, and I'm going to try to get that out before it goes into the food processor. So, got it. There we go. Because of course I have my S blade on inside my food processor, and well, makes it a little bit more challenging trying to get around that when you're trying to get something out. Of course, nice thing about a food processor is that it has a safety feature, so if I don't have the lid on correctly, it's not going to power up. So we are going to stick that lid on, make sure it gets down, and we're going to create some egg white, and we're going for like a meringue type of thing that's going to peak. That's going to take just a couple of minutes, and we're going to just kind of watch that up here and see it already forming up here, looking really nice. And actually, this is what you do when you're trying to form like a meringue. Like you're doing a lemon meringue pie and you're putting that white topping on. You're gonna peek these egg whites. Now, it's not totally vital that it gets all peaked. We're gonna go mostly picked for this particular recipe. Probably go just a little bit longer if I was going for an actual meringue. But for now, I'm going to start adding some other ingredients. I did try to pre-measure some of my ingredients out here, so I'm going to start with our butter. Get some more stuff in there. I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of butter. Of course, you could also use ghee, G-H-E-E, clarified butter, or a butter substitute, if you so desire. And we're going to get that going again. And while that does that, we're going to measure out a little bit of almond or coconut milk. Should have shaken that before I open that, because I didn't do that correctly. So one thing that your coconut milk does, even if you don't have it in the refrigerator, is it will set up. And so now I've got to stir that. We're just going to use the spatula here and stir that up a little bit. Oh wow, that is really not stirred. So I'm going to have my assistant come on over and pull up my blender, and we're going to give this a whirl really quick. Come help me, please. Grab a blender. We're live, please. Thank you, Kimberlina. That's my daughter here. She helps me out in a lot of my videos with recording stuff. And we're going to splash some of that out. Why? Because, hey, we like cleaning up afterwards. It makes it so much more fun, yeah? Not. Try not to splash it out if you can at all help it. Okay, we're going to get that in there and give this a nice whirl. And then she can stick this blender back down below so I can have room. So here we go. All right, can you stick that down below again? Thank you. All right, so we're going to add in 1/3 cup of almond milk. Almond milk. I keep saying almond milk, don't I? That's because I have almond milk on my mind right now. I just made that and made the almond butter as well. So speaking about that, we are having a live almond milk presentation. We're going to be doing that on Teachable in about 2 weeks. And I will post information on that here on Facebook with this video so that you all have that, because I don't remember the exact date right off the top of my head. What? September 17th. September 17th it is at noon Central. So that's going to be something to watch. We're going to be making some different types of, well, not different types of almond milk. I'm going to be showing some different ways to make almond milk. So if you want to join me for that. All right, so while that's starting to blend up, we're going to add a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. And I am almost out of pumpkin pie spice here. So, throw that in. And that was only about half a teaspoon, because that's about all it's wanting to come out at that right time. So, we'll go like that. Do 2 half teaspoons, which will give us a full teaspoon. And for noise purposes, we're going to shut that off. A teaspoon of salt. I like using sea salt, or this is a fine pink Himalayan salt. Very nice. Usually, if you do the dry ones first, then you're measuring. Whoa, did we get enough vanilla in there? Okay. See, I'm getting distracted here. Oh, that went down to that part. Okay. Well. Anyway, I like doing the dry and then the wet. Help wash it out. If I do it in the reverse order, which I have done before, then my measuring spoons get all sticky. I'm going to throw in a little bit of cream of tartar. About a half of a teaspoon on that. And then, if y'all like ginger, yes, there is some ginger, a little bit of ginger in the pumpkin pie spice, but I like throwing in a little bit of extra ginger in some of my recipes from time to time. And this certainly is one of them. So 1/8 of a teaspoon of ginger, and then for the wet, 1/8 of a teaspoon of almond extract. And I put that on for blending again. And then I'm going to start throwing in about 3/4 of a cup of dates. Now it's going to get a little bit loud here initially, so one thing you want to make sure you do, I'm going to turn that off. One thing you want to make sure you do is press these dates together. Yes, they say they are pitted, but the last time I made these, my food processor started dancing around. And that's because, well, it happens so infrequently. I didn't figure out what it was right away. But it was a date seed, and date seeds just do not blend at all. So it got on the S blade, and it just was making it bounce up and down. So make sure that they are pitted, that you do not have the seeds in them. And you might even consider holding this down and putting your hand over this as you do it, because you have an open chute where stuff can spray back out. One of them into the extra part of the shoot here, so now you get to try to figure out what is the best way to get that out. And they're kind of sticky. So, aha! There we are. Dun, dun, dun. Right, in addition to the dates, I'm also going to throw in 1 cup of banana. So, I'm going to drop that down into my chute. And my food processor is going. Food processor is going. And that's just all going to get nice and mixed together, very creamy. You can stop it, open it up, use your spatula and scrape down the sides or scrape off the top. Get some of that that's not blended as well as some of the other stuff down in here so that it can get all incorporated into your mixture. There we go. While that does its thing, we're going to pull out our green bowl. I don't think I brought my bowl over here, so one of the fun things about being live is that you get to see, wow, what else did he screw up on? So, have you ever done something like that? Let me know in the comments below, okay? All right, so here we go. 1.5 cups of oats. These are old-fashioned oats. You could get the more of the quick cooking oats too. Those work in this particular recipe. And I'm going to also throw in some baking powder, about a tablespoon of that. I'm getting down on a lot of my stuff. I'm gonna get some more ingredients. So, a tablespoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda. I really do appreciate you guys coming and helping us out here around my kitchen. I enjoy spending time making different creations, both here in the kitchen and drawing and writing. One of my books, Bloom the Gnome, I just sold one of those on Amazon, which was awesome. So Bloom the Gnome is over on Amazon and waiting for youngsters. If you know anybody that likes gnomes or know anybody that could benefit from reading something like that, a nice poem book. All right, I'm going to mix the oats and the baking powder and soda together. Get that incorporated here, and then we're going to throw in the mixture that we made, our banana date mixture. There we go. I'm scraping it off of our S-blade here, but trying to concentrate a little bit because don't want to have that fall down in my stuff, because then I'm going to just end up having to scrape it off again or potentially cut myself. I don't like doing that either. So I'm going to throw that right there, and then we're going to pour the rest of this in. There we go. All out. Almost ready for the oven. In half an hour, about half an hour, you'll be having some breakfast with some beautiful date oatmeal bars. And take a spoon here, mix this up. Now, if you have some cooking spray, you might want to spray your pan so it comes off nicely after it's done cooking. Also, after it's done cooking, give it about 5-10 minutes to cool down. And if you so desire, cut it up into squares or bars, however you might want to do, and then put that onto a drying rack for a little while too. As you can see, I have my squares in a container, so they do keep for several days in your refrigerator. But just like any food that you've already created, it does eventually go bad, so you'll want to consume them relatively soon. I'm just buttering my pan here. That's another way to do this. Nice, grease it. Butter and oatmeal is something that I think goes well together. So, if you like that, there we go. And then it's just a matter of transferring this into our pan. And then we'll spread it out. Pop it into our preheated 350-degree oven for about, well, my oven, I do 38 minutes. If I could do 37 and a half, I probably would. But, of course, the timer, it doesn't do that. So, anywhere between 35 to 40 minutes. I'll throw that in. Scrape the rest of this off and just flatten it out in your bowl, or not in your bowl, but in your pan. And add some sound effects if you want, so desire. I always do. It makes it a lot more fun that way. All right, there we go. Look at that. All right. No, you can't see that, can you? Okay, hang on. Let me tilt this so you can. There we go. Got the batter in there. If I leave it tilted too long, of course, it's going to just continue to slide because of gravity and become a bigger clump on one side. So into the oven for about 35 to 40 minutes, 37 and a half. And pretty soon you'll have some beautiful almond. There's the almond again. Oatmeal and banana bars. So thank you for coming today, my friends. Please hit those like and subscribe buttons and help us out here on my kitchen. Also hop on over to MatthewYarnell.com, grab your free cookbook, and join me again soon for another episode. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.